Hey guys, what's going on? And thanks for tuning into Legatum Gaming, where this week is another vendor reset. So like most weeks, what I will do is I will check out all of the safe houses and of course the checkpoints in both the open world and in the dark zone. So to make things a little easier for you guys, if you check out the description below, I will timestamp all of the relevant places for the best weapons, gears, and mods. Alright, so let's get straight into it. At the special equipment vendor this week, there's two things I want to show you. Now, the first being the Liberator. Now, the only problem with this is it's 19% enemy armor damage, so not the best. However, this is related to PvE. So, if you guys have a look, it's got skilled, fierce, and meticulous. Now, skilled, really nice talent for PvE, so headshot kills with this weapon increase signature skill resources by 5%. Fierce, critical hit chance is increased by 5% when using this weapon. So, in layman terms, I would get rid of meticulous here in the third slot and put in whatever you want. Now, if it's related to PvE, my advice here is to put in ferocious. That way you get extra damage percentage versus elite enemies. So it works really well. I mean, not the best Liberator ever, however, you know, pretty good for PvE, not the best PvE talents. However, if you're really stuck on things to have and you're more of a newer player, this is pretty decent to have. Now, the only thing which isn't too great here is the enemy armor damage at the top. You can see it. It's 19%. So, not the best, however, not the worst. So, you know, again, if you're really stuck, then I would recommend checking this out. Now, the next thing I would want to bring to your attention is probably the Predator's Mark Holster. Now, the armors are reasonable at 940. And a couple good pieces of rolls. So 1239 firearms, 1267 stamina, and 1138 electronics. Also comes with a 3.5% critical hit chance. So, you know, not bad at all. You know, 0.5% off the max critical hit chance. My recommendation here would be to swap out the electronics and increase it to around the 1270 mark. That way you have three of the both the firearms, electronics, and stamina all on the average of around 1250. So a couple pieces of kind of things here. So one piece of gear and one weapon I wanted to show you. Next up is the special blueprint vendor. So let's check it out this week. So what I say most weeks is always come here yourself, depending on what weapon. Depending on what video you're watching. What weapon? What the fuck am I on about? God damn it. Depending on what video you're watching, always come here and check it out yourself. So, you know, I should be seeing right here 4 pieces of kind of blueprints at 256. Of course, you can only see 3 here. Also, I should see 2 pieces of gear at level 30, and I'm seeing 2. So, to conclude, I'm actually missing 1 piece here. And the reason for that is I already have it. So always come and check out the special blueprint vendor yourself. Alright, so we have the Snubnosed Rhino blueprint, electronic mask, stamina mask, small laser pointer, and the flash hider. So it appears I'm missing 1 weapon. Now what weapon that is, I'm not too sure, hence I've already got it. So, you know, not too bad. I mean, I can't really see anything in terms of like what's here. The only thing I would recommend is definitely checking it out because we don't know what that weapon is. But certainly let me know. At the meat locker this week, they have a really nice lightweight M4. So it has 23% enemy armor damage with the talents Ferocious, Competent, and Unforgiving. So actually 3 really nice talents. So, you know, theoretically you could keep them for PvE and kind of have the gun the way it is, just depending on if you guys have the specific requirements to unlock Ferocious. So just be a little careful. It's 3,832 stamina. So if you do have it, then by all means you could actually keep it as it is for PvE. In addition, if you wanted it for PvP, which the talents are really good, so the third talent here is Unforgiving, so missing health segments increase your damage, so 1 segment is 10% and 2 segments is 25%. Competent, which is weapon damage is increased by 10% for 15 seconds after using a skill. So, you know, the talent which I would recommend getting rid of is actually Ferocious. Now, it is quite hard to unlock stamina at 3,800, whilst also getting your electronics at 3,800 as well. So, roll out Ferocious here, and again, it's entirely up to you. So depending if you're a solo player or you're running a team or your playstyle, the talent you want to put in here is entirely up to you. In addition, my recommendation here would be to probably put in something like Brutal. Now, Adept would be really good with these three, Adept would be really good with these three, but again, I do believe that the requirement is 3,800 in electronics, so if you do have it, Adept would be the #1 choice for me. However, if you don't, maybe Brutal or something like that. Brutal Deadly would be really good here. Nonetheless, a really nice M4, so certainly check it out. At West 31 this week, they have a really nice tactical SASG. So it's got Adept, Unforgiving, and Responsive. Now, of course, Responsive really good for a shotgun. Unforgiving, so missing health segments increase your damage, 1% segment, 10% is 25%. Now, Adept is pretty decent in terms of critical hit chance. My recommendation here is Unforgiving, so take out Unforgiving and put in Brutal just for the headshot damage. That way, with Responsive, you have an extra 10% damage when closer than 10 meters. Of course, with a shotgun, this would make perfect sense. You'd then have Brutal in the middle slot, which is an extra, I believe, 10% for headshot damage. And then, of course, Adept is where you pop your skill before you shoot them, maybe Pulse or Overheal or Booster or something like this. And then you get an extra 15% critical hit chance. Of course, doesn't have to be Brutal in the second slot. Could be Deadly, something like this. So, really nice shotgun, and could potentially have some pretty nice talents on her. So, certainly, if you don't have an SASG, now they have been here every week, every vendor reset. There's always a pretty decent SASG. The blueprint was out, I believe, last week, and also it's been out for a couple weeks now. So if you didn't have one by any chance and you did want an SASG, then certainly head over to West 31 and check it out. Okay, at Park Avenue checkpoint, which is the most southern checkpoint in DC8, they have a pretty nice military M870. Now this is related to PvE, so for those people who did want it, it has Brutal, Ferocious, and Accurate. Now, of course, the third slot being the free slot, my recommendation here would be to take out Accurate. Now, of course, if it is PvE, you know, Ferocious is in the middle, so just be careful. The requirement is 3,800 here in Stamina. However, Brutal gives you extra damage towards headshots. Ferocious gives you an extra 10% damage towards elite and named enemies. And then in the third slot, if you have a recommendation here would be to have Deadly. Now, although it does seem a bit of a waste to be in the third slot, you know, you could change it up, you could mix it up. However, Deadly or Responsive would be really nice here for the shotgun. So you can kind of take down some PvE with Brutal, Ferocious, and either Deadly or Responsive. So entirely up to you. However, pretty good one. So if you did want it, check out this weapon. At East 46th checkpoint, they have a reasonable prototype stamina mod, so 249 stamina with 3% skill haste. So for those people who did want to unlock the extra talents and did want to spec it a little bit to stamina, of course, skill haste is the best thing to have at this moment, so do check it out. Okay, in DZ8 Safe House, they actually have a pretty reasonable Firecrest Holster. Now, it does have 857 armor, so the armor is a little low, so I will point that out. However, some really nice stat rolls. So 1239 firearms, 1244 stamina, and 1238 electronics. Also comes with 6% skill haste, so you know, really good in terms of the overall aspect to it. The only thing that's slightly negative here is the pretty low armor. However, if you are after a pretty nice Firecrest holster and you are trying to make kind of like a mid-hybrid build, then certainly do check this out. Okay guys, we are at DZ9 Safe House, and they actually have a pretty nice Banshee Gloves here for you. So 1240 firearms with 1222 assault rifle damage, 6.5% enemy armor damage, and 5.5% critical hit chance. So the armor, you know, touching up 900, so not the best, although not the worst. Pretty nice firearms and 3 pretty decent major attributes. Now, of course, if you're not running assault rifle here, you know, you could maybe put in critical hit damage here instead, or even skill haste, and then these would run pretty nice for you. So, you know, unfortunately, this actually does cover the weekly vendor reset. So I think this is actually the least amount of items I've ever put in a vendor reset, like ever. So, you know, really sorry about that. However, you know, don't shoot the messenger. I do apologize. However, I do try and filter out kind of all the crap, if you like, just to save you guys a little bit of time. I didn't want to really put in a lot of things, so there have been actually quite a few things which have pretty reasonable stat rolls. However, the armor is just unbearable. Like, I don't even want to put that in for you guys. In addition, we've had some things that the armor is really good. However, the stat rolls are really poor. And, you know, there's no point running with kind of like a gun which has got 2 great talents and then one already sucky. You know, no one wants to do that. In addition, for those people who have been playing this for a long time, there's actually not much gear out there that you guys haven't already got. So I did try and focus on mainly for the maybe newer players in this. However, I think I actually put in like 5 pieces of gear or something like that, or including weapons and mods. So, wow, like the worst vendor reset ever. However, nonetheless, hope you guys did enjoy the video. If it was helpful for you in any way, I highly doubt that. However, if it was, then a like would be appreciated. Have a great day, guys.